Hey guys, it is me, Jacqueline, for today's video. I am back with a fall book haul. So over these past couple of months, I've been sent some various packages. I wanted to show off these books because so many of these I cannot wait to read. And I just wanted to say that I have been MIA for a month and I'm not going to go on a whole spiel, but I just really appreciate your guys' support. I think I really needed time to almost reflect on myself and really figure out what was bothering me. This year has been really hard on me. I don't want to cry, but I just cannot imagine going through what I have been going through without you guys. So thank you so much. I'm really excited for this month and next month to really get back into reading. I have a whole idea for December, so hopefully I actually pursue the idea I have and stuff like that. But anyway, we're here for a book haul, so let's just jump right into it. So the first book I have is one that I've technically already shown off to you guys, but I'm showing it off again because for me, book hauls are a way to really know what you guys actually think about certain books, and also if you guys would like to see a review on a certain book. So the first book I have is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, and this is a book that I've always wanted to read but I've never actually bought, so I was really excited to receive it in the Too Much Monday September box, which I unboxed in my last video. If you're interested, I'll leave that up in the cards. But this is basically sort of a contemporary romance that involves a guy actually falling in love with a girl. They work in the same office and he falls in love with her through emails. So it's such a different concept. I'm really excited to read it. If you have read it, let me know what you thought of it. The next book I have is in a Barnes & Noble bag, which honestly, it's been a long time since I have hauled a book in a bag, if that makes sense, because that means you bought it in person. I've not actually bought a lot of books this year because I am constantly sort of receiving books or being asked if I want to review a book, or I get sent unsolicited books, stuff like that. So my room at home is overtaken by books. I have no room at all for books, and that's why I haven't really bought a lot this year. But yet again, I'm constantly being sent books, which I'm extremely thankful for, but I just have no room for it, and that's why I haven't really bought that many books this year. But the book I do have is Assassin's Heart, and this is by Sarah Ahers. I think that's how you pronounce the last name. If not, I do apologize, but this is a book about assassins, and it seems like a very typical book, but I did read some pretty positive reviews. I haven't actually seen a lot of people talk about this book, but in general, I've read like the first 2 chapters and I do really enjoy it so far. I'm actually doing sort of a buddy read with this book, which is also very enjoyable because I haven't really read that many books like this whole year, and I haven't really read a lot of books like in the past couple of months. Honestly, I think it's been since September since I picked up a book. So this is the first, or one of the first books I have read since then, and it's really a fun experience to be reading it with someone else. The next book I have is from Clean Teen Publishing. I just want to thank them so much. They are always so generous and they send me books all the time without me knowing, which if you don't know, that's when a company will send you an unsolicited book or books, and Clean Teen Publishing does that for me. So yet again, unsolicited just means that I actually did not like ask for a book, they just automatically sent me this book. So this is a random book in my eyes, but still, regardless, I am super excited to see what it is. And I have read a couple of books from Clean Teen Publishing. I feel like they're sort of an underrated book publishing company, but I would definitely recommend picking out some of them. So the book they sent my way was The Canary Club, and this is by Sherry D. Ficklin. This is a ARC copy, but this book is currently out. It came out on October 2nd. It's a historical romance novel. It takes place during the 1920s, and it did come with this letter, which is from the author, and I was reading a little bit of it, and she talks about how she actually read several of F. Scott Fitzgerald's work to sort of get inspiration for this novel. On the front it says, "When life makes you a criminal, only love can set you free." And then the back, like blurb, it says, "Two worlds collide in this compelling story of star-crossed lovers in gritty Prohibition-era New York." So that sounds actually really interesting to me. I love sort of reading or watching movies, TV shows from the 1920s. That's a really interesting era, in my personal opinion, so I am excited to see how this is. So the next package I have is from Entangled Publishing, so I want to thank them so much for sending me this book. I don't actually know what this is yet again, but let's open it up and see. So the book they sent my way was 27 Hours, and this is by Tristina Wright, and it says Hour Zero means war. On the back, it says 6 teenagers on the run, every monster on the moon, 27 hours. And it has a ton of like acclaims from different authors, an unforgettable read, and that's by Claire Legrand. A whirlwind of action and romance, and that's Alexandra Duncan. So this is actually a sci-fi thriller. It came out on October 3rd. This is a own voice, which is really awesome. I haven't heard of it personally, but this sounds really compelling and different. And honestly, I really want to get into sci-fi books. I feel like I haven't really touched upon them too much, so I feel like this is a great one to pick up for that. The next 2 books I have are from Macmillan. I did already open the package because I was way too impatient, but the first one is Pashmina. This is from Nindi Chinani, and I have a feeling I very badly pronounced that name, but if anyone down below could tell me how to pronounce the name correctly, I'd really appreciate that. Every time I say author's name wrong, I feel so terrible. It's just, names in general for me are really hard for my brain to sort of process and figure out the right syllables. It's just the way that I sort of was raised and grown up with my speech delay and speech support and stuff like that. But I'd really appreciate that, and also any other author's name that I incorrectly pronounce. Don't feel that you'll be hurting my feelings. I want to pronounce it correctly. So I have heard actually amazing things about this book. I've heard the illustrations are beautiful, which they very much do. It's more of an Indian American sort of story in a way, and it's an own voice. It looks like such a great read, and I definitely have to pick this one up for myself. The other book they sent my way I actually have not heard as much about. It's Demon Volume 4, and this is by Jason. I did this already. Jason Shiga. And this says on the front, bizarre, sick, funny, and more than a little depraved, all of which is a part of its charm. So yet again, this is one that I'm not too familiar with. There are apparently 3 more volumes before this one, so I'll definitely have to see what it is all about and potentially pick up the other volumes before I read this one. The next 2 books I have are from Bloomsbury, so thank you so incredibly much. And the first book they sent me, guys, I am so excited to read, and that is No Filter, and this is from Orlog Collins. It says, real love is more than a trick of the light. This book comes out March 6th of 2018, which is so weird to say because 2017 is almost over. I cannot get over it, but this book sounds so good. It is a contemporary romance that takes place in Ireland, which I already love because I've always wanted to go to Ireland. So the fact that I'll be reading a book that takes place in a place I want to go is amazing. I felt like I just talked really fast in that one sentence. But this is actually a duo POV book, and we follow our 2 characters back to back, I suspect, because that's what it says on the back, sort of. It says, the fresh, romantic debut novel, which I also love supporting debut authors, told in both Emerald's and Liam's point of view, is perfect for fans of Everything Everything and To All the Boys I've Loved Before. 2 great books, and the fact it's being compared or almost like a recommendation after you finish those books to pick up this one, I cannot wait. If you guys want me to do a review or at least read it and get my thoughts out there before it comes out in order for you to see if you want to pick it up, just let me know. The other book they sent my way is More Than We Can Tell, and this is by Bridget Kemmer. And this is sort of a companion novel to her other book, which was Letters to the Lost. And I feel like I want to read that before I pick up this one. This one comes out March 6th, 2018 as well as the other one. But I've actually heard amazing things about her other book, and I can't wait to see if this one is equally as well. I believe we follow one of the characters you see in the other book, so that's why I feel like I want to read that one before I read this one. The next package I have is from Penguin Teen, and they are always so kind of generous to me, but this I've actually had for like a hot minute. You probably have already seen booktubers and bookstagrammers unboxing this one, but this is their Game Changers sort of box, and they released this because they had 5 consecutive weeks back-to-back hits and releases for them. So you can see these are the books that are featured in the box. You can get them now, all of them, which is really nice. So let's open it up and see what's inside. So this is how the books come in, which is super nice. As you can see, it says Penguin Teen Game Changers, and it has the books sort of in the seals, which is really, really nice. 5 consecutive weeks of back-to-back hits. This is like a really nice container. I feel like I actually want to reuse this because, damn. Oh, that's sort of cool. It shows like different hits they've had in the years they came out, and then it says like 2017 now, and it says the Game Changers at the bottom. I love this. I think sometimes with receiving like PR boxes or something like that, it's a lot of fun to see like how passionate the companies are and like the ways they sort of go out to advertise this. Like, I really appreciate it. Each of them come in, yet again, this like slip-on thing, which I really actually like the way it looks. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'll keep them. Nah, I probably won't. But this is The Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, and it's a breathtaking, fractured fairy tale. And the fairest of them all will rule them all, and this came out October 10th. But this is what it looks like, and I love this cover so much. I've seen this a ton on Goodreads and Twitter and stuff like that, but it's such a different cover. Yet again, this is from Julie C. Dio. It says, A Rise of the Empress novel, designed for greatness, bound for ruined. Like, that just sounds so cool to me. I want to read it, like, right now. The next one I see is Things I'm Seeing Without You, which is a heart-wrenching contemporary. It says on the back, the boy she loved isn't the one she lost. And this one came out October 3rd. And this is by Peter Bugnani. And this cover is beautiful. I love this because blue is like one of my favorite colors, but the amount of detail that is put in, like, these are all birds instead of form of an S, like, that's gorgeous to me. It says, the darkly funny energy of Bugnani's prose perfectly explores the grief and love in the 21st century. The next one is a chillingly smart horror, and it's called There's Someone Inside Your House. And it says on the back, the horror is closer than you think. September 26th is the day it was released. And it's from Stephanie Perkins. Oh, I knew she was coming out with a horror book, but I did not know it was coming out that soon. I'm even more excited now because Stephanie Perkins wrote Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, Isla, and The Happily Ever After, like those sort of contemporary novels, and I loved them. I thought they were so cute and adorable and such fast, easy read, and I've always been excited to see her other books and sort of what else she wants to come out with. And when I heard she was writing horror, I was immediately intrigued because that's so different from her like fluffy romance novels. How many pages is this? This is, I'm sorry if you guys don't actually care, but I do, 151 pages. That is so small, so I definitely can picture myself reading this very soon. The next one is Jane Unlimited, which is a boundary-breaking fantasy. It came out on the 19th, and it says, One House, Limitless Possibilities. So let's see the cover because I've been really impressed, and I'm impressed. This is like holographic and it's so eye-catching. I really actually love it because the image on the front, oh, it does sort of show it, but I thought it was just imprinted. I didn't know it was actually holographic. That's beautiful. Ooh, that just really was shiny. I'm sorry. I hope it doesn't mess up the camera too much. This is from Kristen Cashtor, who wrote the Graceling novel, and I've always wanted to read that book because when I first started BookTube, so many people were reading it or saying how much it was like one of their favorite books. I never picked it up. So if I read this one, this will sort of inspire me probably to read her other book. And then the final book we have is Warcross, and this is from Marie Lu. I already know that right off the bat. This is a mind-blowing science fiction. It says it was released September 12th, and it is some games you play, others you survive. And this is what the cover looks like. I actually really like it. I think it's very intricate, especially because this is more of like a game sort of book or about being put in a game. I forget exactly what it is now that I'm thinking about it, and I hate myself for that. I love Marie Lu's writing. Her writing is so unique to me because every time I read one of her books, it's almost like I'm watching a movie, but I'm obviously reading a book. And the way that she describes it, you can visually see exactly what is going on, and it's just amazing. So I'm excited for this one. I'm actually excited for all of these books so far. There hasn't been one book that I've hauled that I'm like, eh. Like, all of these books sound fantastic. Next, I have a box from Fierce Reads. I am on their blogger vlogger list, and the way they do it, I think I've explained this before, is they send out a form and they sort of prorate boxes that have all these various different arcs, and there'll be like 3 or 4 boxes, and then you choose which one you would like to first receive, or if they end up not having those available, then you choose like your second choice and your third choice, stuff like that. So I did have one in mind that I really badly wanted because it had a sequel for a book I absolutely love, and I would love to receive an arc for that. So if I didn't receive that, regardless, I'm going to be so excited to receive the books, but I did have one in mind, so we'll see if I did get the box I wanted, if that makes sense. But regardless, thank you so much to Fierce Reads. They are so generous to me. So the first book I see is Starstruck, and this is from Jenny McLaughlin, and it says, new crushes, bright spotlights, and discovering your true self. On the back it says, will Pearl put her mean girl ways behind to take center stage? So basically we follow our main character Pearl, who wants to sort of get the lead role in this play at her school, and this other girl sort of comes in, and Pearl feels a little threatened. Wow, I don't know why I could not just say that, but she feels a little threatened, and now she's sort of trying to figure out exactly how to sort of hold her role in the play. So I have a feeling I know how this is going to be executed, but still, books like this are fun for me to read because you sort of know going into it exactly what's going to happen, but it's still fun to see exactly how it does happen, and it's one of those easy, quick reads for me, and this book comes out April 2018. The next book I see is Claiming My Place, and this is from Plenaria Price with Helen Reichman West. And it says, a true story of defiance, deception, and coming of age in the shadow of the Holocaust. This book doesn't come out until March 13th of 2018, and the cover is not finalized. But I personally love reading stories that will truly depict real life experiences of the Holocaust or any sort of genocide. There are some of my personal favorites because they really break my heart in many different ways, as it probably should, because they are honestly so mortifying. The Holocaust, any sort of genocide that has happened and probably is currently happening, will happen in the future, like anything like that, it is awful. Reading these stories, for me personally, ever since I was a little girl, I always have read them. Like when I was in middle school, I remember reading them and checking them out at the library, like my school library, and for some reason I was almost fascinated with reading it because although it broke my heart, it still gave me such inspiration, and I'm genuinely very excited to read this one. I hope to read it actually soon because I haven't actually read one in a really long time, so this is like the perfect opportunity for me to read one very soon. The next book I see is Mary's Monster, and this is by Lita Judge, and it says, Love, Madness, and How Mary Shelley Created Frankenstein. The true story of the pregnant teenager runaway who wrote the most famous horror story of all time. And this book doesn't actually come out until January 30th of 2018, but I've actually recently wanted to read more classic novels, and specifically Frankenstein, so this actually comes at yet again a perfect timing for me because I feel like this would be a really nice book to read either before or after Frankenstein, and it would give me a lot more substance for Frankenstein. I would appreciate it more because you sort of see exactly where it came about. So I'm actually really excited, and it looks like the illustrations are beautiful on the inside, so I feel like that's going to really sort of help the story flow. So I'm definitely going to pick that up once I read Frankenstein or after I read Frankenstein. I don't know which one to do. Then we have All That Was, and this is from Karen Rivers. The blurb on the front says, Who Are We Without Her? And this book actually doesn't come out until January 16th, 2018. But on the back it says, Two best friends, the boy who loves them both. What happens when there is only one? So this sort of seems like more of a contemporary, like realistic sort of. I wouldn't really say it's a romance, but seems like there might be like a mystery involved and a lot of heartbreak and torment. The next one I see, The Forgotten Book, and this is by Oh, this is the sequel to The Book Jumper. I have hauled this, the first book, The Book Jumper, before. So that's actually really exciting. I have the sequel now. It says Forgotten But Not Gone. And pretty much The Book Jumper, if you haven't heard of it or don't know the fact that I've already hauled it, I don't know why I automatically assumed you guys would. But if you guys remembered, The Book Jumper is about our main character who actually has the ability to jump in books. And then the sort of problem that is coming about is that there are people that are killing these book jumpers. So our main character is one, and there's a possibility that she could be killed. This is a sequel to it. So that is super awesome. So now I definitely have to read The Book Jumper soon so I can get onto this sequel. And the sequel doesn't come out until January 2018. So the reason I wanted a particular box is because of a particular book. And I got the box I wanted because I am holding the book I wanted, and I am so excited right now. And it is Daughter of the Siren Queen. This is by Tricia Levenseller. This is the sequel to The Daughter of a Pirate King. I have done a non-spoiler free review on it. I'll leave it up in the cards. It is such a fantastic book, and I am so excited for this sequel because I have a feeling this is going to be even better than the first one, because although I love the first book, I did see sort of some cons with it in a way, but I still loved it overall. But this one has me so excited because I've actually read some really positive reviews, and people have said it is even better than the first one because the first book was the author's debut novel, and I always love reading people's debut novels and sort of seeing how they grow and develop. So I'm so excited for this. I honestly cannot breathe right now. Oh my god, calm down, Jacqueline, calm down. This book doesn't come out until February 2018, but if you guys would like me to do a review on it and have like a huge spoiler section and a non-spoiler section, let me know, because oh my god, this is actually one of my most anticipated reads of 2018, and I have it in my possession. I need to breathe. The final book in the box is Slay, and this is from Matthew Lawrence. This book comes out March 2018, and I believe this is actually a sequel to Freya because I tried to read the blurb and it didn't make sense to me, and then I went on to the summary and I was like, wait, this seems like a sequel of some sort. You will definitely not be able to see that, but the cover of the first book is right here. So the first book is Freya, and I haven't actually heard of that one, but I do have the sequel in my possession, so I definitely want to see if potentially I'll actually be interested in the first book, read it, and then I have the sequel. Those are all the books I have from Fierce Reads. Thank you so much. The remaining 2 packages I have are actually from Page Habit. I have 2 sort of book subscription boxes from them for 2 different months. I really love Page Habit, so I am a sort of ambassador for them. They have been sending me boxes for the past 3 months. They just recently started up, and actually is 2 of my favorite book subscription companies combined into one. They actually give books back to people in need, and it's just a really great sort of book subscription unboxing. I feel like I am still out of breath from unboxing that one book. I apologize. So I honestly don't know which box is for which month. I know one is, I want to say one is September and one is October, but I think actually one is August and one is September. So I'm just gonna open one and we'll see together. So the first thing I see is the card, which sort of like has a letter almost from the book subscription company, and then it sort of says where exactly they donated to and exactly that. So it says, for the month of September 2017, Page Habit has chosen to donate books to the community of Dalia, Togo, where there are over 15 schools with around 2,000 students. These students have no textbooks, and outside of school, no opportunity to study or read because of the lack of reading materials. So that's amazing that they gave back to them. And that's why I love supporting Page Habit, because they're also not that expensive at all. And I feel like you're actually getting pretty different books. Every time I unbox a Page Habit book, I'm always like, I've never heard of this book, but this sounds super awesome. I think The Book Jumper was actually a Page Habit box. Well, they used to be Bookly box, but it was a Bookly box before. Bookly box, My Bookly box, and Quarterly, 2 great book subscription companies combined into one. So Bookly box actually isn't a thing anymore. They switched over to Page Habit, but Quarterly is still Quarterly, and then they now have this as a branch of them. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm not really making sense, but I hope it does. So this is the actual book, and as you can see, the bookmark split out. So I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to see the other goodies inside before I see the book, but I did pull out the book before I saw the goodies. So the next thing I see is the bookmark, which if you don't know, in every Page Habit box they have a bookmark. And before, when it was My Bookly box, they also did the bookmark thing, but it wasn't as sturdy of like a bookmark. It wasn't laminated, so I felt like it ripped or bent pretty easy, but these don't because they are laminated. So the one side it says Page Habit, and the other it actually has a quote from a book or an author. So this quote says, "The love of books is a love which requires neither justification, apology, nor defense." J.A. Langford. I actually love that quote. So the first thing I see is this, and it says, "Short story commissioned in partnership with our friends at Great Jones Street. Enjoy." So this is Sweet Cheeks, and this is from Lee K. Abbott. And I have no idea what this is about, but this is yet again a short story, which is really nice. So you get a book and a short story for the romance box. The next thing I see is this, which I have no idea what it is, but it looks so cute. It's just like this little cute, is this a bear? I don't know what it is. And I feel really weird the fact I don't know what it is. The next thing I see is this, and this is like a patch. It says Time Traveler, and actually looks really cool. I don't personally wear patches, but I actually really like this one. And then the final item I see is this, which is a pin, and it is a comic pin, and it's actually a really cute sort of design. It's blue, yellow, and pink, and it has a rocket ship and stars and a smiley face and a little thing that says POW. The book that was chosen for the month of September for the romance genre was The Woman Who Couldn't Scream by Christina Dodd. So yet again, I haven't personally heard of this book, but I am still really excited to, and I love reading books that come from either Page Habit boxes or the quarterly boxes, because Quarterly themselves actually brought this into play when it came to the box, because they've done this in the past. And what they actually have is the authors will put these sticky notes, and it actually will give information regarding the novel. It'll give like little tidbits and where it comes into play, and it's just the authors sort of like paraphrasing their own book, which I personally love because I feel like it just gives the book such a different reading experience when you see the author, and it's just so much more personal to me, and I appreciate the book a little bit more with these little sticky notes. Let's open up the other box I have from Page Habit and see what's inside. So this is actually the August romance box, so I am working a little bit backwards, but still we're gonna roll with it. So for the month of August, Page Habit actually chose to work alongside the Butte Book Project and the Catholic University Institute of Butte, a new university in Butte, Cameronia, to build their first library. That is amazing to me. And yet again, this is the romance box, so I'm excited to see what's inside. Ooh, so the first thing I see is socks. Let's open them up. So it says, "If you can read this, pass me my book." I love that so much, and I will be wearing this ASAP. The next thing I see is another short story from Great Jones Street, and it says The Bridge, and this is by Sachi Green, and it's a historical romance. I'm actually excited to read these short stories because I haven't really read a lot of short stories. The next thing I see is this, and this looks so cool. It's a cactus. It's a cactus pen. That is amazing. Oh, that is adorable. I'm obsessed. I'm mind blown. I was not expecting that. I love it. Okay, moving along. The next thing I see is the bookmark, which yet again has Page Habit on one side, and on the other it has a quote. And the quote says, "I'm wondering what to read next. Matilda, Roald Dahl." Which I love that so much because Matilda is one of my favorite movies of all time. I still will always love the book as well, but I read that when I was a little girl, and actually my teacher read it to me. Next thing I see are these little guys, and they are actually bookmarks, and they're cute little people, and this one's actually a bear, and this is the bookmark Lucky Boy, and this is the Set a Stripe. and they're like the magnetic bookmarks. So the romance book for the month of August was Wish You Were Here by Renee Carlino, and of course there was also the letter with the book. But I have actually read one other book from Renee Carlino, and that is Sweet Things. I didn't love that book, but I didn't hate it either. So I am excited to read this one and see how I find it, because yet again, although I didn't love that one, maybe I will potentially like this one instead. And also it has the whole sticky note thing inside, which will make the experience even better. So that was my fall book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below what you thought of any of the books I hauled, if you have read them, if you would like to see a review on them, all that jazz. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!